My name is Kellie Burkhardt, and I am the principal of Menlo Park Elementary School.
What are you most excited about this year?
The thing that I'm most excited about this year is just being back in the building with kids. And I guess my favorite part is lunch duty. And I think the reason I love lunch duty is because you really get a chance to get to know the kids and you get to talk to them. And they're not in class, so you don't have to worry about interrupting them when they're trying to work or anything. And they feel more comfortable getting to know you and just building those relationships with kids. So being in the building and being around kids is the thing I'm most excited about.
How do you encompass equity as a leader?
For me, there's a lot of new learning going on. And even though I'm almost 60 years old, I feel like I still have a lot to learn about myself and how I view other things, my own biases. And I like to think that, I don't have any, but I know I do because we all do, depending on how we were raised and the things that we've lived in our lives. So just asking questions, knowing that I don't know everything and that I can rely on those people around me, trying to build a team that is diverse so I can continue to learn and grow.
How do you include the David Douglas School District equity lens when making building-wide decisions?
We always look at it, it's right there. And I take it to meetings with me so it comes off of the wall easily. But asking those questions, and I think the ones that I really like the most that I never really used to think about were, how does it impact someone else? Like, are you doing more harm than good? Are you impacting in a way that you didn't think you were? So that just gets me thinking about things because I never really thought too much about some of those questions. I mean, I always thought about like being fair and treating everyone equal or equitable, not necessarily equal, but giving them what they need. But I never really thought about like, am I making something worse by making a rule or instilling something in our building or picking a new curriculum or a new program? So those are the things that I continue to work on and try to bring to my teams when we're doing decisions. Let's go through this lens and ask every question and just kind of discuss it.
What does a racially affirming school environment look like?
Acknowledging that we do have a diverse school. Portland Business Council said this is the most diverse school in Portland out of all of the schools. So it doesn't mean we have the biggest percent of ELLs. It means we have the biggest variety of people in our building. And that's a beautiful thing because I go into a classroom and I see people of every color. And it just makes me proud and excited and that they all work together so in such a synergistic way. And our teachers really embrace every student, but that we are learning to listen to the students more and getting their voice involved because we don't, we're predominantly white staff, but I have worked hard to try to diversify, but just listening to their voices because they will tell you, if something's not working. And if it's not in a positive way, sometimes it comes out in a negative way because we're not listening.
What is your equity stance?
My equity stance is just, everybody matters, everybody's important, and everybody has a story. And we don't know what a person may be going through or has gone through or will go through. But if we're listening and we have a kind heart and a willingness to learn from others, then I think you're able to find common ground with anybody in your building, whether it's a parent or a child or a staff member. So I think being willing to interrupt things when you notice something's not right and speaking up, even if it's awkward or uncomfortable. I think if we model that as an adult, we help our students to be able to do that. And that's something I learned as a young child, growing up with a sister with a disability and being able to advocate for her and also not letting people make fun of her or do anything like that, helping others to understand. And I think that we have to have that lens about everything in life.
How will you use data to ensure equitable outcomes for students?
Well, I can say all those things that I just said, but we have to affirm it with data. We have to look at our discipline data to make sure we think we're being fair, but are the numbers telling us that? Are they agreeing with that? Because sometimes it doesn't always match up to what we think is happening. And you're not the only person in charge of data. It comes from all of your buildings. So I think putting back the data to our staff, but also looking at it academically, and for any kind of meeting you have, whether it's 20% meeting, like let's look at who's on the bottom 20% and let's look at who's on the top 20%. And is the variety the same? How are things playing out? Is it always the same kids on the bottom? If we're doing interventions, things should be moving. So just using numbers to help make decisions or make changes, and not being afraid to make changes. I made several changes this year that I thought a lot about during the pandemic. And I took all the kids out of the Title I room. We don't go to the Title I room anymore. We go to our own classroom, and we stay in our own classroom, and people come to us. That hasn't been a popular decision in the beginning with my teachers, but I feel like now I think they're starting to see the value in it, and having more than one adult in the room to build relationships with. So I think just using data and having it as that third point of reference can take away the tension sometimes, because it's a number doesn't lie. So.
What equity practices do you hope to see in every classroom?
Well, we've been working on the culturally responsive teaching practices, and I'm a person that likes to get everything done all at once. I want to do all 27 of them, But I'm hoping that we will be doing all 27, maybe not even intentionally, but just that we're doing all of our teaching, comes from the heart of good teaching and pushing all kids to do more and to do better. But having the lens that every single child in that room is talented and gifted. They just have gifts of different kinds. And, I love the tag program, but I found that when we talk about that, like, oh, they're going to tag or something, then the other kids would kind of want to know what that means. And I always felt bad, like saying, well, it's a talented and gifted program, because then I felt like all the kids left in the room, but, well, aren't I talented and gifted? So I just would say, we're all talented and gifted. Every one of us is, because that's what I truly believe. Every child is talented and gifted. We just have to find their talents and their gifts. And sometimes it takes longer for others. We all bloom in different rates.
As you self-reflect on your spring and summer hiring practices, share your efforts and outcomes to diversify your school building for both classified and certified positions.
I've had a lot more luck diversifying in our classified positions, and I've tried really hard to consciously do that. I think you have to be willing to look outside of Portland and outside of this area. One thing I've found is it's hard to keep our good staff that are diversified, because everybody wants the people you found in Alaska or Puerto Rico or wherever you found them. But I continue to try. I want people in my building that look like our students, and I think I've done a good job of that, but I know I can do better. I'd love to have more certified staff in our building, and I know we're working on that through our Grow Our Own programs and different methods. But having more people in the building as we hire, it takes a while to turn over staff, so it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's something that should be a constant goal of whoever's hiring. And I will be doing it till June 30th, but after that it'll be someone else's charge. So I hope that they find that a priority. I'm Kellie Burkhardt. I'm the principal of Menlo Park, and I believe in equity.